Movies and games are heavily related. They both rely on the ability of a person's mind to recreate a situation. A film uses camera angles, movements, character expressions, cuts, edits, colors, dialogue, and sound to create a dynamic environment in the viewer's imagination. The scene doesn't really occur on screen. Rather, the mind is able to follow a natural logic implied by the disparate shots, filmed at different times of the day and in different locations. Even in films that break continuity, our minds attempt to perceive a continuity in the discontinuity, with cuts that become motivated by metaphor, emotion, or rhythm. So, it can be said that the film environment is created by these elements, in the mind, which makes it a phenomenological experience. Living experience can be broken into several aspects: perception, imagination, thought, emotion, desire, volition, action. Each of these modes run simultaneously in a life to create a continuous existence. They feed together into one stream of consciousness. But the stream can be divided into three distinct structures: the real, the social, and the internal. The real refers to how we experience the real physical world, nature, the man-made, the forces of physics, and other material bodies. The social refers to the interpersonal experience, the interaction with other beings, through speech, glance, gesture, expression, communication, and a continually developing understanding. The internal refers to the developing narrative of a person's mind, the digestion of experiences with external factors occurring in the real and social, thoughts, dreams, feelings, passing moments that can never manifest physically outside of ourselves. Perception, imagination, thought, emotion, desire, volition, and action run rampant through all three of these interwoven phases. A film is an internal expression. It's a cohesive narrative one experiences that not only includes a representation of a social and real world, but it represents an internal one too. That makes the film itself an internal experience of an already existing separate internal experience. Similar to the way a film creates an experience in consciousness, a scene of interlocking elements for a viewer to interact with, video games achieve a similar state, but they're different elements. A video game uses a systematic approach to express narrative. Instead of shots, cuts, and an interwoven audio track, a video game uses mechanics, loops, controls, and systems to create a phenomenological experience in the player. A game is a set of systems that create an environment of input and output. It's a network of rules that let someone do something, and then create an effect in response. When a game is being played, it is trying its best to get the player to gain an understanding of how its elements work. So there is a continual conversation of expectation and prediction that get confirmed, denied, and changed through a system of interlocking parts in a clockwork world. A mechanic is an action for a player to do. Run, swim, jump, talk, kill, carry, take. A verb. A loop is a cycle of mechanics and feedback that repeats itself throughout the game. A game can have just one or many of these loops. A system is a set of rules that govern how the mechanics and loops interact. It takes programmatic concepts and turns them into functional ones that a player can understand and read. The narrative video game attempts to embed drama into mechanics, loops, and systems. A dramatic art told through expectations, predictions, and a cognitive understanding of a logical world. We feel the reality of the world through calculated movements and decisions that allow us to form a mental understanding of a situation in the same way a film uses shots to create a mind's understanding of a scene. How do we interact with movies? You interact with the movie by asking questions. What will happen next? How will the characters change? How does the story develop? You interactively ascertain an understanding of the film's logic, the way it thinks, the way it feels, what it's trying to say. How do we interact with video games? We ask the same questions we do with movies, but we also ask, if I do this, what happens? It's an additional question that seeks to answer the same fundamental truth about the logic of an authored world. Both film and video games are an ultimate expression of someone telling someone else, here is a world, as told through a dream.